Where did he even come from?
You didn't stop.
I don't have to stop. That was only a yield sign.
You didn't even look, though. That truck almost hit us. Get out of his way.
I don't have to stop. He should watch for me. He knows I don't have a stop sign.
Don't you know what a yield sign means?
You have just witnessed one of the greatest causes of an automobile crash, which is failing to yield the right-of-way. There's a big misconception about this law among our inexperienced drivers. Hi, my name is Vonda Easley, and I would like to thank our panel today and our guest for being here. And we're here today to discuss highway safety and how to make our travel safer. We have today with us Mr. and Mrs. Steve Cabeza, and Steve is going to share with all of us about an unforgettable automobile experience in his life.
Well, in the discussion about vehicle safety, the statistics that are out there, and like I said, I went to, and I remember it was National Safety something, Highway Safety, but it's a nationwide collection of data pertaining to vehicle accidents. And this was all done after my son's accident, because it just sat with me for so long. And I started looking and doing research about vehicle accidents. And the percentages of 16-year-olds that are killed is astronomical. And I didn't realize that putting my son in a vehicle. Prior to that wreck, he was on the AB honor roll. You know, he went to school every day. He had a great attitude. He'd come home, help me work on a farm. He gave me no indication of any bad habits, that would make me be concerned about him driving. He'd been driving that truck, all these trucks, my tractors, very familiar with driving. Driving safety, the numbers don't lie. And when you go in there and you do that research and you start finding out really what's taking place in the United States, it's like, I can't believe we're this ignorant. I'm not saying stupid, I'm saying ignorant. We're ignorant of the facts. Because if we were that serious and we really cared about our children, we would not give them the keys when they're 16 years old. How many people have passed this? How many times have you seen this? That's my son. I'll never be the same from that accident. And I blame myself for handing him those keys. I simply didn't know the facts. How many people do y'all know that's been killed by a vehicle, by an automobile? How come we don't have that fear of that vehicle when it's the most likely thing that's going to take the life of our 16-year-old child? I can't go back. Can't change anything. But I can assure you, if I'd have known all those things prior to that accident, I would have done different. If I could help anybody keep from going through the same thing I went through with my son, I would do it. That's the only reason why I'm up here, because I care and I'm passionate about it.
Thank you, Steve, for sharing your story, which is why we're here today. The number one killer of teenagers is an automobile crash. Approximately 15,000 teenagers die every year in an automobile crash, and we must stop accepting this casualty as a natural cause of death. It is preventable, and that's why valuable driving tips is so important. Jeremy's our police officer today, and Jeremy, would you share with us some of your experiences?
First of all, I've had a chance to actually read the book, and I went through hours and hours of training on how to operate a emergency vehicle, and and they stress to us, all the points of actually, about the vehicle. Your vehicle will do this if this happens. When you go through a regular driver's test, they don't teach you none of that for like just a regular license. And a lot of accidents that I've had the opportunity to work have just been carelessness, Like Ralph mentioned earlier, distractions, you want to wave at your buddy on the side of the road and then you rear end somebody. if our young people just pay a little more attention and take a little more time to actually study out, you know, the laws, you know, teach them more about if this situation comes up, what are we going to do? You know, I've actually talked to 16-year-old kids. You know, if the back of your car starts to slide, what do? You hit the brakes. No, you don't hit the brakes. That's what they think. You know, if your car starts sliding, you hit the brakes to stop. But, you know, I've been policing for going on 12 years now, and I can't tell you the number of accidents that I've worked. But when it comes down to working a fatality accident, I can tell you detail for detail about every one because it's something that you don't ever forget. I'd say 80% of the cars that I pull over, the kids are less than 18 years old. You know, it's just 55 miles an hour speed zone, they're going to be doing at least 70. You know, they're going to be riding right on somebody's bumper, you know, passing a no passing zone because I thought I had enough room. Well, they don't. And I can truly say that when I read this book, I actually learned stuff. And when I was reading it, I was like, you know, I've never been told that. You know, I didn't know if this situation happened, this is what I can do to prevent it. I can't tell you the amount of young people that we've lost just in the county where I live in the last 4 or 5 years just for careless mistakes. I recommend this book to everybody.
Slow down, Richie.
I'm not even driving fast.
Slow down.
Well, I think I know how to handle my car better than anyone else does.
But you going 80. Slow down.
I'm a good driver. I've had my license for 2 years.
2 years? That don't make no daggone difference. I already told you, I don't like to drive fast.
I'm not even driving fast. I'm just barely over the speed limit.
Richie, look out!
It's gonna be okay, I promise. I know you're upset right now, but it's gonna be okay.
I thought I had it under control. Clay tried to get me to slow down, but I just wasn't paying him no attention. I knew there was a curve coming up. I mean,
It's gonna be okay. I promise. Just give it time. It's gonna be okay.
no, it's not. I'm just sitting out here and he's the one in the hospital bed.
It's gonna be okay.
From just like 4 months into 2011, we'd already lost 480-something kids under the age of 18 due to an automobile accident. You know, when I work an accident, every night that I work, we've had an accident, you know. And 90% of the time involved in that accident is probably somebody under the age of 18. I mean, it may be just a little fender bender, you know. I wasn't paying attention and I bumped the car in front of me. Or the light turned green and I was staring at the light and I went, but the car in front of me didn't go. You know, it's just those just little careless mistakes. That little careless mistake could, you know, cause you to lose your life. You know, I had a cousin, you know, for this certain reason, had a blowout. Talk about, you know, just careless mistakes. Had a blowout, and when it blew out, she jerked the wheel. You know, that book covers that. You know, if the car starts to slide on you, that book covers what to do.
Well, you know, you just mentioned you had a wreck in your car when you was young, okay? And then you mentioned your cousin, and then you mentioned your cousin, you know, and you think about those things that just in the small group of people here, how many lives, how many families been impacted just here, you know, and it's not just us, it's everybody. Anybody you sit down and talk to and you think about how many close people in your family, close friends, has lost somebody or has somebody seriously injured in a vehicle accident. And most every single one of them is going to raise their hand up. But yet our priorities don't make us do any, that we do so little for this. And again, I'm guilty, you know. If I had to do it over, I would make those changes. So you want to encourage somebody that's got that opportunity now, or those kids. So the parents, you know, if they could feel it, Like if they had to be there and visit somebody that's down there at UAB, it is an eye-opener. How many protests have you ever seen protesting the war? Pretty incredible. The numbers that'll turn out to protest the war. The numbers are staggering when you look at our kids that have died. How many people you ever seen protesting our children getting killed and maimed in a vehicle? I've never seen it. Where is that same passion for our kids that are dying every single day in this country in a vehicle? The number one thing that was going to kill your child up to their age 30-year-old was a vehicle. What do we do to prevent that? I don't want my government to do it, but again, what is the government doing? They've taken the driver's education out, or they don't put a lot of emphasis on it, but they do all these other extracurricular activity that entertain us, like what you were speaking of. This young man, how old are you? 15. There's not a greater risk that you'll ever see than getting in that vehicle and driving. You know, don't ever take it for granted